here? Well, I've been hired to make a sign, and the person, they brought me this piece of juniper, and it's like 9 feet long. Yeah, it's about 9.5 feet long. And she wants it to say Woodstone. And so I did a few different designs for her, and she picked one out. And so I printed it off using Rapid Resizer. Let me go get it. Here it is. The W is separate from all the words because of the shape of the wood. This is my limiting width right here. So I have to make everything fit right here and this way straight. And then the W can be bigger. So that's what I did. Yeah. So that's going to be sitting on there like that. And I thought what I should do is put on some of this peel and stick just to help with the painting part and the seepage of the painting. And I also treated this board with some shellac, which I am using for sanding sealer. So anyway, I shellacked it and it's been drying for a few days. So now I'm ready to put this on it, and hopefully this will work like that. I'm not real sure how this is going to stick because I don't want it to come off. So I think I'll just try a little piece and see if it'll stick first. Because what would be bad is if I had it on there and I'm, routering away and then it is loose. That would ruin, that would be really bad. So I'm not confident in this stuff sticking. Nope. No, I'm not confident in that sticking. The wood isn't real flat either. I mean, it's, it's a little bumpy. Okay, no peel and stick. No peel and stick. I'm just going to glue it to the board and go from there. Or what I could do is I could trace it and then put peel and stick over that. That's an idea. I think I'll do that. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it out how I want it on there. I laid it out so it was in the center according to that limiting factor of narrowness of slab. Also, there was an area of limb or something that made it a little bit wider, and I hoped the D could fit there, and it did. I used some duct tape to tape one side so I could flip it up, put the carbon paper underneath, and trace the letters. I'm using just regular old carbon paper and a number 2 pencil, and it did the trick quite well. Okay, now to flip it up and see how I like it. See if I like it. I think I might like that. All right then. So I took the papers and the tape off. And now I am going to put the peel and stick over it. Woo! The peel and stick wasn't wide enough, so I put another long piece over the parts that weren't covered. And I did help it a little bit by duct taping it down. However, this ended up not working. I think it would have if the wood had been sanded smooth, but it was pretty rough at this point and the peel and stick just wouldn't stick. But I didn't know that just yet. Hey, Wells. Well, here's how it looks so far. We can't really see the lettering. Kind of shiny right there. Yeah. Hi, buddy. What you doing? Right. So, yay. I think it's ready. Nice. There's Gibby over there. Gibby-loo. There he is, sleeping on the pillow. Okay, I'm all ready to go. I have my, can't remember what this bit is called, but I have that on there, and I'm going to just do the outline first. I started, and it didn't take long for the peel and stick to start sliding around, so I just pulled it all off. Alright, take this off. Take it off. It's not helping. Anyway, I used this profile bit and I routed along all of the lines. I wore my PowerCap active respirator. The battery on this thing lasts for a long time, and it should be due for a charge here soon, I'd think. I like it because it's lightweight and has that airflow. I did end up taking my hair tie out. The band of the cap was hitting it just right, making my head sore. Once I took that tie out, it was fine. But I wore it for a few hours, and all was comfortable without the hair tie-in. These letters are going to be outset, which means they're going to stand proud with the background recessed. So since the next step is removing that background, I took a pencil and colored the areas that I knew needed to be removed. It's a real bummer to remove something you didn't mean to. Here it is with all of the spots marked with the pencil. And I grabbed the larger router to get ready to go with the straight bit next. My hands are feeling that, tingling that you get with routering, so I might have to wait a little bit. Maybe I can get some lunch. Let's go get some lunch, Wally. Let's get lunch. Oh, yeah. Oh, we gotta go get some lunch. Oh, puppy. All right, I took a little break and my hands are better now. Yay! So, let's get to doing this part. Yeah! I ended up not using the larger router, and I'm not sure exactly why. So I used the little router, and it worked just fine. Using that straight bit, I removed all the wood that I had marked with the pencil. This makes a lot of sawdust, so I used a soft brush to push off the sawdust as I worked. And I made 2 passes until I was happy with the depth removed. Okay, let's take a look. Ooh. Sawdusty. Ooh. Nice. Yay. And it's about 1/8 of an inch deep. Less there. A little less than 1/8. Nice. Yay. What do you think, Peter? Yeah. Then I thought I could use the peel and stick I had torn off for a barrier to protect the areas that I didn't want to get paint on. It was all stuck together, but I was able to use some of it. But I was also able to use the paper part of it, so I duct taped all of that onto the slab to protect the bark. Then I used some spray canned shellac to act as a sanding sealer again. I just didn't want to risk having some paint bleed into the wood, and this worked great because I ended up having no bleeding. Once the shellac was dry, I went over any area on the letters that I didn't want black paint to get into. I covered any cracks or knobs with blue tape so that the paint couldn't get deep into those areas and be impossible to get out. And the blue tape blocks very well. Then I used black primer spray paint and slightly sprayed 1 coat. And when that was dry, I went over it again. And I did this about 3 times. I'm sure this also helped prevent bleeding. Then I removed all of the papers and the blue tape. Next was to sand off the excess paint. I used the belt sander first to take off the majority, then I used the orbital to remove all the rest. and I was liking it. Then I squared up the ends using the jigsaw. And I flipped it over to smooth up the back just a little bit. Then I took it into the back room to get ready to put some resin on it. I'm using Total Boat tabletop epoxy resin. The sign is going to be outside, so this will provide a nice protective coating. I was thinking if it's used on boats and stuff, it should be great in the rain. Anyway, Total Boat has given a discount code to my viewers. Go to totalboat.com and use the code SIZECORNER at checkout and get 15% off your order. So I measured it out in a 1-to-1 ratio of resin to hardener and mixed it slowly for 3 minutes, then poured it on the wood sign. I like to use gloved hands to spread the resin all over the wood. Once it was spread all over, I hit it with a torch to pop any surface bubbles. I did this with the torch 3 times, waiting 15 minutes between each time. And I let this set up overnight. Okay, it's all set up. Whoa! Now to flip it over. Do the other side. And the bark. And the bark. So I did the same thing, mixed it up and poured it over the top, then spread it around with my hands. I had to mix more so that I had enough to coat the bark, and this was a bit tricky since the bark is rough. What I ended up doing is I scooped a bunch out of the mixing cup with my hand and wiped it on the bark. I ended up ripping my gloves a few times, but overall it worked pretty well. And I did the same thing with the torch, popping all the surface bubbles, going over it 3 times, 15 minutes between each time. It's all done! Yay! Woodstone! And I can't wait to call the person and tell her it's ready! Ah! Cool! So the whole reason I put the epoxy resin on it was for protection since it's going to be out in the weather. And Total Boat is what I used, and they have a discount code if you use Size Corner if you go and buy some resin from them. So I just want to make sure you know that. It's great stuff. I love it. And I think it looks awesome. And if it protects a boat, I'm sure it'll protect this piece of juniper. So thanks for joining me, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye!